Hello students, welcome to my channel. Fundamental theorem of arithmetic. It is another important property of integers. Already we learned about the Euclid's division lemma. What is the theorem of Euclid's division lemma? Given positive integers a and b and there exist unique pair of integers q and r satisfying a equal to bq plus r, where r is greater than or equal to 0 or less than b. If r equal to 0, then a equal to bq. It means a is exactly divisible by b. So we can say here b is a factor of a or divisor of a. Q is the quotient. Suppose here I'm taking two positive integers 2 and 36. The 36 is exactly divisible by 2. The quotient is 18, remainder is 0. So we can say 2 is a factor of 36. 18 also factor of the 36. After writing 18 as the product of primes, the 36 can be written as the product of primes. 2 and 3 are the prime numbers. 36 is a composite number. So it can be written as the product of primes. In the second one, 2, 3, 7, 11, 23. These are the prime numbers. Product of these prime numbers is a composite number. The composite number is exactly divisible by all these prime numbers. So if we multiply all prime numbers in all possible ways, we will get an infinite collection of the composite numbers. So every composite number can be expressed as the product of primes. That is the theorem of the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. It is the theorem of the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Every composite number can be expressed as a product of primes uniquely. That is, if x is a composite number, then x equal to p1 power l into p2 power m into p3 power n, so on. Here, p1, p2, p3, so on. These are the prime numbers. The powers l, m, n are the natural numbers. In this example, 720 is a composite number. After writing it as the product of primes uniquely, the bases 2, 3, 5 are the prime numbers. The exponents 4, 2, 1, these are the natural numbers. In this also, 64 is written as 2 power 6. Base is prime number. Exponent is the natural number. So the requirement is that factors be prime is necessary. It is necessary. Factorization containing composite numbers may not be unique. That's for example, 12 can be written as the 2 into 6 and 3 into 4. So it can be written in two ways. So it is not unique way. That's why 1 is also not considered as the prime number. If 1 were prime, the factorization into primes could not be unique. That is 2 is written as 2 into 1, 2 into 1 into 1. That's why 1 is not considered as the prime number. So the factorization of a composite number should be prime numbers. What is the outcome of the fundamental theorem of arithmetic? P be a prime number, P be a prime number and A be a positive integer. If P divides A square, then P divides A. Suppose A is a composite number. So it's written as the product of primes. That is P1 into P2 into P3 into so on Pn. A square is written as P1 square into P2 square into P3 square, so on Pn square. It means in this example, 2 power 4, that is 16 divides 720. So P1 square divides A square and also P1 divides A square and also P1 divides A. So P divides A square, then P divides A. That is the consequence of fundamental theorem of arithmetic. For example, 7 divides 14 square. 14 square value 196. So it is exactly divisible by 7. So it also 7 also divides the 14. It is the consequence of the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. So what are the applications of the fundamental theorem of arithmetic? how to express positive integers as product of prime integers, and how to write the decimal expansion of rational numbers, and how to reveal the nature of decimal expansion of rational numbers by writing the prime factorization of q in p by q, and how to prove the irrationality of many numbers. So using this concept, so let us do some problems. Finding the LCM and HCF of the following integers by prime factorization method. This prime factorization method is the another name of the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. So let us solve these problems. After writing 50 and 60 as the product of primes, how to write the HCF of these two numbers? HCF of these two numbers is product of least powers of common prime factors. What are the common prime factors? 2 and 5. These are the common factors, and apply the least power of those numbers. Least power is 1. So after applying the powers to these numbers, 2 into 5 is 10. 10 is the HCF of 50 and 60. Next, writing the LCM of 50 and 60. It is product of highest power of all prime factors. What are all prime factors? 2, 3, and 5 are the all prime factors of 50 and 60. And apply highest power of those numbers. Highest power of 2 is 2, that is 2. Highest power of 3 is 1. And highest power of 5 is 2. After multiplying these numbers, 2 square is 4 into 3 into 25. It is 300. 300 is the LCM of 50 and 60. The second one, 8, 9, and 25. After writing these as the product of primes, HCF is the, how to write the HCF? Product of least powers of common prime factors. But there is no common factor in these three. But 1 is common factor of every number. So 1 is the highest common factor of these numbers. If 1 is common factor of any number, then those numbers are called the relatively primes or co-primes. So the product of the relatively primes is the LCM of that numbers. So LCM of these numbers is 2 cube into 3 square into 5 square. That is 8 into 9 into 25. 1800 is the LCM of those numbers. Next one, check whether 6 power n can end with the digit 0 for any natural number n. Here, 6 is a composite number. After writing it as the product of primes, as 2 into 3, and apply the nth power to 6, 6 power n equal to 2 into 3 whole power n. That equal to 2 power n into 3 power n. The number when the number ends with the 0 means when the number multiply with the powers of 10. When 6 is multiplied with 10, then the number ends with the digit 0. So the 10 can be written as 2 into 5. 6 into 2 into 5 is the 60. At this time only the number ends with the digit 0. So the prime factorization of any natural number contain the prime numbers 2 and 5. 2 and 5, then only the number end with the 0. But in this, only 2 is present, but 5 is not present. Okay, 3 is, but 5 is not present. So there is no natural number n for which 6 ends with the digit 0. So 6 power n cannot end with the digit with the 0. Rational numbers and their decimal expansions. Let x be a rational number whose decimal expansion terminates. Then the prime factorization of q in p by q is of the form 2 power n into 5 power m, where n and m are the non-negative integers. Means If given rational number is a terminating decimal, then the prime factorization of q is, it is of the form 2 power n into 5 power m. If prime factorization of q in p by q form is 2 power n into 5 power m, then the given rational number is terminating decimal. If prime factorization of q in p by q, it is not of the form 2 power n into 5 power m, then given rational number, the decimal expansion of the given rational number is non-terminating recurring decimal. So using this concept, we can write the decimal expansion of a rational number without actual division and also reveal the nature of the decimal expansion of the rational number. So how to write the decimal expansion of rational numbers without actual division? Here, in the first one, 13 is divided by 25. First, make sure about given rational number, is it in a standard form or not? Means numerator and denominator are the relatively primes or not. So here 13 and 25 are the co-primes. So it is in the standard form. Next, make the denominator as the product of primes. So 25 is written as the 5 square. So if the denominator is in the form of power of 2 or 5 or both, then it is terminating decimal. Otherwise, if another factor other than 2 and 5, then it is non-terminating recurring decimal. So it is confirmly, we can say it is the terminating decimal. Since denominator is in the form of power of 5. So next denominator, make it as the power of 10. Power of 10. So next, multiply with the numerator and denominator with the 2. And 5 and 2 should have the same powers. So 13 is into 2 square by 5 square into 2 square. If the powers of 2 and 5 are the same, then only we can write the same power of the tens. So it is the value of 13 into 4 is 52 by 10 square, 52 by 100. In the denominator, 2 zeros are here. So the given rational number, there are 2 digits after decimal point. It means it will terminate after 2 digits. So 52 by 100 is the 0.52. Next, 15 by 16, and this also, is it in standard form? Yes, 15 and 16 are the co-primes. Next, writing the denominator as the product of primes. So denominator is the power of 2. So it is also terminating decimal. After making the denominator as the power of tens, multiplying numerator and denominator with 5 power 4. So in the denominator, power of 2 and 5 should be same. Next, 15 into 625 by 2 into 5 whole power 4. That is 9375 by 10 power 4. So here also there are 4 digits after the decimal point. So it will terminate after 4 digits. So it is terminating decimals. In the third one, 181 are the co-primes, but the prime factorization of 81 is the 3 power 4. So the denominator is not it is not in the form of power of 2 or power of 5. So it is a non-terminating recurring decimal. So we can't do it with we can't write the decimal expansion of this type of rational numbers without actual division. So here I did the actual division. So it is the non-terminating recurring decimal. And also how to reveal the nature of the decimal expansion of a rational number by writing the prime factorization of q in p by q, that is denominator. So that after writing the denominator after writing the prime factorization of the denominator, we can say given rational number is either terminating or non-terminating recurring decimal. So here in this 13 by 3125, the denominator is in the form of, it is 2 power 0 into 5 power 5. So it is in the form of 2 power n into 5 power m. So it is terminating decimal expansion. In this example, the denominator is 243 is written as 3 power 5. So it is not of the form of power of 2 or power of 5 or both. So it is not of the form 2 power n into 5 power m. So it is non-terminating repeating decimal. And how to write the, how to solve the given, how to prove the given given number is an irrational number by using consequence of the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. First, let us assume root 5 is a rational number. Rational number means it should be in p by it is in p by q form, where let us consider root 5 equal to a by b. Here a and b are the co-primes, and their highest common factor is 1. After squaring on both sides, root 5 whole square equal to a by b whole square. So the square and square root will be cancelled. 5 equal to a square by b square. Here b square divides a square and multiplies 5 after transposing to the left side of that. 5 into b square equal to a square. Here 5 multiplies b square but divides a square. B square equal to a square by 5. So therefore 5 divides a square. If 5 divides a square, it also divides a, according to the consequence of fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Suppose consider let us consider a equal to 5c for some integer c. After substituting a equal to 5c in the equation 1, 5b square equal to 5c whole square means 25c square. After dividing it on both sides with the 5, it is equal to b square equal to 5c square. Here 5 is multiplies c square and divides b square. Then 5 divides b square. 5 divides b square means it also divides b. So here 5 is the common factor of b and a. This common factor of a and b. But here what we said, a and b have the highest common factor is only 1. But here we said 5 is the common factor of a and b. So our assumption is wrong. What we assumed here, root 5 is a rational number. So it is wrong. Hence, root 5 is an irrational number. So root 5 is an irrational number.